I mean, what was the play that Huntley scored the first touchdown on to go up 13-3? It was an RPO where he had the option to drop it down to Julian Hill, and instead of doing that and picking up 4 or 5 yards and making it second and goal or second and 10 inside the 10 or second and 5 inside the 10, he kept his self alive, scrambled out, said, Julian Hill, turn around, block. And then he was able to scramble, make a guy miss on the sideline, cut up field, and get into the end zone. Like, Huntley did a lot of positive things, and I absolutely am in the business of bringing him back this offseason. I don't know what the contract would look like, but I would love to bring in Huntley to be the backup. My ideal, I don't want to look to the offseason because there's still a lot to talk about, and we'll do that here in just a second. But I would love to bring Huntley back on a cheap deal, draft a quarterback in the middle rounds, and have your quarterback room being Tua, Tyler Huntley, and then whatever young quarterback you try to develop. You draft him in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, somewhere in that range. You always want a developmental guy. I think that's where you proceed in the offseason, which is why you subscribe, because we'll break it down for you. All right, let's talk about some other quick players before we get into the playoffs. Tyreek Hill, 9 catches, 105 yards. He was great today. The Browns, foolishly, played a lot of one-on-one coverage with Tyreek Hill with not a lot of safety help, and Tyreek Hill took advantage of it. Good bounce-back performance for him after one of his worst games of his career last week. Yes, he had a touchdown on 3 catches for 26 yards, but a pair of big-time drops. Good to see Tyreek Hill back into his normal self this week. Hopefully he's able to have a good game next week as well against the New York Jets. Jonnu Smith wasn't that involved in the passing game, but like I mentioned, touchdown late to seal it, going up to 20-3 rather than 13-3. Jonnu Smith having the best season in history of the Dolphins franchise for a tight end. Most receptions, most yards. It's unbelievable. Malik Washington continues to showcase what he can bring to the table. 4 catches, 41 yards. Had a bad drop, but other than that, had played some good football over the middle of the field. I'm excited for Malik Washington's future. I think there's a decent chance that he's brought back. He's obviously under contract, but brought back to be the slot receiver next year for Miami. We'll see what happens with Tyreek Hill. There's a chance, small chance, but he could get moved off of. You have Jalen Waddle back. I'd like to bring in a big body physical receiver on the outside, but having Washington on the inside with Waddle and whatever other third receiver is a good start. I like what Malik's brought to the table. He's getting more PT as it goes on, and I'm excited to see what he can do next week, assuming Jalen Waddle is healthy and able to